Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. Oh man, this is Reservations. I'm Jeremy Blair.
And I'm Rain Whalen.
I debated on opening with Shalom.
That's why we were already sort of giggling.
Yeah. Because there's no better way to open the show about a Christmas movie than Shalom. So Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Hope everyone's having a good Hanukkah.
Hanukkah's been over, dog.
Yeah, well, you know.
It's been over for like a week and a half.
Doesn't matter. Hope everyone had a good Hanukkah.
And, you know, and a Merry Christmas.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Yeah, because as Jeremy said, this is a Christmas episode, and hence the Christmas sweaters.
Yes, if you're listening, just go on the YouTube channel. Check out our Christmas sweaters. Yours is...
mine is my Game of Thrones, so it says Joy to the Realm.
Oh, okay. Mine is Wu-Tang.
Wu-Tang?
Yeah, man, protect your neck, guys. So yeah.
But we'll never get to hear the one that, you know, the fucking stupid ass Martin Scorsese bought. That album. We'll never get to hear that album.
No, that's okay.
But there's rumors that RZA got it back, and he'll eventually release it. But anyway.
I'd listen to that.
But anyway, yeah. So this is our first ever Christmas episode.
Yeah, we've never done one of these.
I tried to do one last year, and when I told you I was going to do one last year, you...
I probably threw a fit.
You did, and you begged me not to.
Yeah, because I
did not want
to do a Christmas movie.
But this year, I pretty much said, fuck that. We're going to do one anyway.
Which is fine.
Especially this one. Because this one...
This one's near and dear.
I was about to say, this one kind of hits close to home for the two of us. A story of divorced parents.
Yep.
And Christmas time.
Yeah.
And, you know, man, like a dad just trying to relate to his son.
Yeah, in a way. And, of course, mental illness and child endangerment.
So, if you didn't tune in last week, this week we're talking about the Santa Claus.
Yeah.
I should mention, and maybe you felt the same, or maybe I'm just an idiot. This movie confused me for years on how to actually spell Santa Claus.
Oh, because
I always thought it was with an E. Yeah. Because of this movie.
Yeah.
And I remember...
That's why the E's a different color.
Yeah, well, but when you watch the movie, the poster, it's a different color. But when you watch the movie, yeah, they kind of give you a little clue. When the title comes up, they kind of hold the little, like, flashy light on the Eve just for a second.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, hey, this is a clause.
Yeah.
As like Bernard would say in the last line of a contract.
Yeah. Yeah, Barabbas.
Barabbas.
Barabbas is hip to all this shit.
But yeah, like, I remember for years growing up, I was like, wait, is it just with the E or without the E?
Yeah. Thank God I have never in my life written the words Santa Claus in my life.
Really?
So I've never had to worry about it.
Oh, it's because you're Catholic, so, you know.
Yeah.
You don't really believe in Santa Claus.
We believe in Santa. We believe in Santa. He died for our sins. And he leaves his eggs on Easter. That's Santa Claus. I don't know what Mom's gonna hate that so much.
Oh my God! I can already like hear your mom
typing away on the comment section. Died for our sins,
Jeremy.
Yeah,
Jeremiah Evelyn Blair.
Yeah, not my middle name.
I'll figure out your middle name.
You'll figure it out one of these days.
Yeah, man. So, what was your earliest memory of this movie?
I can't remember because we've been watching it every year.
Yeah.
Since it came out. So
yeah,
I was 1 when it came out. So, actually almost 2.
Was it? It was 94. Yeah, I was. Yeah, I was on
Christmas time in 94. I was almost 2, and we would watch it every year. And so now, so I've experienced this movie in several different ways because the first several times I watched it, I didn't really pay much attention to the divorce part. You haven't planted the seed in my mom to divorce my dad yet. You hadn't put that idea in her mind yet, and so we were a happy family until then. And so I honest to God never even paid attention.
Well, to that but as a kid,
you're not going to. I guess
you're not going to pay. I don't even remember as a kid understanding well, wait, why? Who's this Neil guy?
Yeah, who's Neil? He seems pretty cool though. Like I want some of his sweaters, but
now that we're older,
dude, as an adult, Neil is the smartest guy. He's like, this guy's crazy. And I would be this guy's crazy. Right.
And shout out to Judge Reinhold. Judge Reinhold is the fucking best. Please, I know you've slightly retired from acting. Please come back.
Yeah, come back and make some more Santa Claus movies.
Oh, they're gonna have to convince Tim Allen first.
Oh, no. Elevator pitch, Neil, new Santa Claus. Boom. Psychiatrist Santa.
Could you imagine? Wakes the kids up every Christmas. So how does that make you feel?
Yeah, like, I see you wanted a bike, but you already have one. What's the thought process?
And his beard isn't full. It's just like kind of like stubble, you know? It's just like white stubble.
I'd watch that.
Yeah.
I'd watch that.
Yeah. Anyway.
So, okay.
So yeah, no, so I get it. As a kid, you don't pay attention to that.
What first pops up in my mind is, which is funny because I was trolling you with it before we started, is the music.
Yeah.
Because the music is so prevalent in that I remember every beat to this movie like breathing because I've seen it so many times.
Yeah.
And that I just remember the music cues. You know what I mean? If you play me a piece of music from the movie, I'll tell you exactly what scene it's in, right?
Yeah. And shout out to the people who are listening. We open it with a music from a scene we were talking about a few weeks ago when we were doing our gingerbread competition. A scene that I just want to tease because we'll get to that scene. But you made up a good point that I never really realized. He's making all this food.
So much food.
For two people.
Yeah. And
one of them is an 8-year-old little boy.
Yeah.
He's not going to eat that much.
No, he's making so much food.
He's making so much food.
Like there's no reason for that.
All of it's burnt.
Yeah.
But so Jeremy, for those people who haven't seen this movie, first of all, how dare you?
Wow.
But second of all, how should we explain this movie to them?
So the very simple premise is you kill Santa, you be Santa.
Yes.
So no, Tim Allen is a toy company executive.
Yeah.
And is not in the middle of divorce, has already been divorced.
Yes.
But it seems pretty fresh. And
yeah, I would say so. I would say maybe they've only been divorced maybe a year or two.
Yeah, it has not been long.
Yeah.
And so it is his turn, I guess, to have Charlie for Christmas Eve.
Charlie's his son.
And Christmas morning. Mm-hmm. And he's not the best dad.
No,
and he's sort of like, there are moments that are very endearing where he's just like, yo, like, don't try to get him not to believe in Santa, homie. Like, that's his innocence right there. And so that's sort of nice. But then he's like very, sort of like,
he's very
annoyed.
Yeah, he's very annoyed by like Charlie's sort of Charlie's innocence too.
I guess, but it's also like maybe it's this.
Okay.
He is annoyed by Charlie asking so many questions because Neil has planted it in his head to ask questions.
Yes.
Right? And so instead of taking everything at face value like a stupid kid should, he is like,
Charlie's he's questioning everything.
Yeah, man, like he's not taking anything at face value.
Nah.
You know what I mean?
Nah. Which is kind of funny because it kind of sets up the later conflict with Scott of, believing isn't seeing, seeing is believing. No. Seeing isn't believing, believing is seeing.
There you go.
And he wants his son to, to follow that rule.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting that in the beginning of it, Scott's sort of like, he sort of half believes that. Like, I want you to believe because you need to believe.
Yeah, because you need to be a kid, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't want his childhood to be taken away that easily, right? Like, not like Neil when he was 3.
Yeah.
But, okay, so he's sort of like, sort of annoyed. They go to Denny's because he burns all the food.
Yes. So the scene that I was talking about is I guess he wants to give Charlie a traditional Christmas Eve dinner.
Too traditional.
Like, and Great transition, by the way.
Yes, very good.
Because you think like, wow, he's making like this great turkey. Wow, look at those sweet potatoes. And the transition from it's the cooking show to the actual table is seamless.
So good.
But yeah, half of it's burnt. It's made incorrectly.
The turkey's on fire.
And he still planned on eating it after he put out the flames.
Yeah. Yeah. After he doused it once with the fire extinguisher, he goes, it's all done. We're good to go.
Those flames are really big, Dad. Yeah, turkey's funny that way. and then it catches fire again.
Even the glass tray is engulfed in flames.
Yeah.
So funny.
So they go to Denny's.
It's a good gag. So yeah, they go to Denny's,
where all the single fathers take their kids on Christmas Eve.
So funny. And these are quotes. So another thing that I take away from this movie is the quotes.
Oh,
right?
quotes
and
are great.
Get to the quotes that my family shares.
The quotes are great.
My mom, my dad, we all do it, right? So goes to Denny's, goes home. Hasn't really been a successful evening, right?
No, but he sort of saves it a little bit with Charlie still wanting to put out milk and cookies.
Yeah.
Even though Charlie has been questioning all night about, well, Santa's not real, Dad, yada, yada, yada. But Scott kind of sort of turns him around a little bit.
Yeah.
And then we get our reveal.
Yeah, and then our boy Santa shows up.
Santa is real.
Santa is real, and he's on the roof. Or roof.
As Tim Allen says.
Tim Allen says it. And Tim Allen, Scott, scares Santa Claus, and he falls off the roof and dies.
Yeah. Or if you think about it, it's very horrific for a children's movie and a Christmas movie.
All right, so he straight up dies, like right away.
Instantly.
Pretty much instantly dies. I mean, he waves.
Which I've always found
creepy.
So weird.
It's very creepy that he waves.
And we don't see his face.
No, which I kind of like.
Yeah. I mean, it's meant to imply, of course, it's meant to imply that Santa is interchangeable, so it doesn't matter what he looks like.
We are all Santa, and Santa is all of us.
Exactly. And then Scott, at the behest of Charlie, annoying him.
By the way, not a well-behaved kid.
Yeah, Charlie, in this first half, is the fucking worst.
He is the worst.
He doesn't listen to his dad.
Nope.
He tells his dad, Tim Allen tells him repeatedly, stay in the house, call 911.
Yep.
Charlie, don't go up there. Charlie, don't touch them. Charlie's the fucking worst.
Yeah, Charlie don't listen.
And he annoys his dad into putting on Santa's costume.
Can't beat your kid in a Disney movie, I guess.
Nope. And you can't also hire ex-cons, but oops.
We'll get there.
And so Scott indirectly becomes Santa because he essentially was annoyed into doing it.
Yeah, puts on the, there's the card, right? He pulls out the card.
Yeah,
it says,
put
on the suit, the reindeer will know what to do.
Yeah.
I'm trying to yada yada through all this so we can get to it. Puts on the suit, reindeer sends him to houses, he gets the thing, he delivers presents, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Takes him back to the North Pole where he meets Bernard.
Our boy David Krumholtz.
Yep. Of Numbers fame.
This is before Numbers.
Yeah, this is before Numbers.
This is what got him Numbers. Could you imagine?
It's like, hey man, we just saw this movie you're in 20 years ago.
20 years ago.
Not 20 years ago. It was
like 10 years, yeah. Because that's why he wasn't in the third one.
Right.
It's because he was doing Numbers.
Because he was doing Numbers.
What if the second one is what got him Numbers? Oh my god.
Yo man, we just saw Santa Claus 2. So good. You
it's
need to be in. No, that's what they're saying. Like, it's so good.
Oh, I was like, oh.
No,
you just watched it?
No, it sucks. Okay, so
he's at the North Pole and he still doesn't believe that he thinks he's dreaming.
Yeah. When I wake up, I'm getting a CAT scan. You know what I mean? That's one of the best quotes. So they give him the rundown. They told him he needs to come back on Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Next Thanksgiving. And they got to get to work, right?
Yep.
Whatever. So he wakes up in his new fancy pajamas that Judy got him. By the way, mom's favorite quote. Thanks, but I'm seeing someone rapping. Yeah.
You actually pointed that out when we were hanging out because I never caught it. And you pointed it out and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's super funny because he was kind of hitting on her.
Which is slight, and it's also slightly creepy. This 10-year-old little girl
who's 2,000 years old.
1,200, I think.
Well, 1,200 to get the recipe right.
Oh, yeah.
Who knows how long she's been getting it right?
Yeah, that's true.
Or when she started.
Yeah.
She's like fucking Hugo Weaving in Lord of the Rings. What's his name?
Elrond?
Elrond.
Not L. Ron Hubbard.
No. Yeah, dude, he's like Elrond. King of the elves. Okay. So he wakes up, he's in his pajamas, and Charlie's just like, hey man.
Like, you're the new Santa, Dad.
Yeah, what's up? And so here's where the movie gets very interesting, is that Charlie is now obsessed with this idea that his dad is Santa Claus and that they went to the North Pole, right?
Yep.
And in a very interesting turn, the movie is going to focus on that's weird, right? And Charlie might be in an unsafe environment.
Yep.
In the care of Scott Calvin.
Yeah. I never caught it until last night when I was rewatching it. Because Scott also, now that he is Santa, he is morphing into Santa.
He is morphing into Santa.
He's gaining weight. His hair's turning white. He's growing a beard.
The sound of him jiggling
his gut. It just looked like a little weight to you.
It's so gross. And again, it's just like the music. It's ingrained in my brain.
Yeah.
That sound of the jiggling.
Sloshing. Yeah. So I never caught it, but it's right before they meet with the judge.
Oh, the judge.
Not Judge Reinhold. And Laura, it's a very interesting piece of dialogue, and it's not spoon feeding us, which you hate.
I do.
She says, I can't believe you would go behind our backs, confusing Charlie again, which means that at some point during the divorce proceedings, Scott did something to quote unquote confuse Charlie.
Maybe.
Or at least in their mind, he confused Charlie.
Maybe. Or it was, maybe they assumed he was going along with it at first.
Maybe.
Right? At the very beginning. Mm-hmm. Maybe like in January or something.
Yeah.
And then, it's like, oh, well, now you're changing your physical appearance. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We never thought you would stoop so low to change your physical appearance to make Charlie like you.
Right. Which, by the way, not a bad idea. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you were to do this maliciously, it would probably work.
Well, and something that I have always had a problem with this movie is how hard Laura and Neil come at Scott.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're not giving my man a chance to explain himself.
Or, hold on.
Okay.
Now, I'm kind of on their side on this one, only because seeing it from their point of view,
right?
It's like, I agree, they're going a little too hard, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily have him explain himself, but I would be like, hey, man, how you doing? What's going on? He's a fucking psychiatrist.
Yeah.
Sit his ass down, have him fucking committed. That would have been a dope movie, by the way.
If he gets committed.
Yeah. And he's got to break out of that instead of a drunk tank. He's got to bust out of a mental institution.
Well, and I just love, and see, we get a little bit of that, with Judge Reinhold going like, I think you're taking this to an unhealthy level. Here's my card.
Yeah.
Call me. He should have been a little harder then. He should have been like, Scott, come on, we're having a session right now.
Right now.
Right now. We're going.
And so I love that this movie is so different than your traditional Christmas magic movie, right?
Yeah.
Where yes, you'll always get this trope of the no one's going to believe you pushback. But this is putting it in sort of a really sort of dark ground level where it's you're endangering
your own
child.
son. Yeah.
And or at least people are perceiving you to be a danger to your son, and so we're going to take away your visitation. You know what I mean? This
Spoiler alert.
This is real shit going on in this movie. And so it's not like a Hallmark movie where it's like, I'm going to lose my donut shop or whatever.
Oh no.
Yeah, unless I get married in 12 hours. It's
you just summed up every Lifetime movie
just did
ever. Yeah.
Yeah, Hallmark, Lifetime, whatever, same thing. So I like that this movie has like real stakes, right? Like,
Yeah.
this isn't sort of like cutesy bullshit. This is,
Yeah.
you're gonna lose visitation of your son,
Well, and he does.
and he does.
He gets the cops called on him.
By the way, he's wearing that Christmas sweater and hat before Thanksgiving because he hasn't left yet.
Yeah. Well,
I get that he's Santa, but
well, and it's also meant to show, his I wouldn't say decline, but his full transformation into Santa.
into Santa that he doesn't. All that he buys is Christmas themed clothing because even when he goes to the judge,
he's wearing a red shirt with a red tie, and it's
like it's got green shit on it. Like it's silly, because it's like it's not even Thanksgiving yet, bro.
well, and he's, of course, one of my favorite scenes is when he's first starting to gain weight, and he lies to his coworkers that he was stung by a bee.
Bee sting.
Evidently, I'm allergic, and he orders a salad and then nothing but sweets.
Yeah.
Ice cold milk, homemade cookies, and a sundae with extra fudge on the side.
On the side.
That's one of my favorite scenes because they're like.
By the way, Peter Boyle was fat shaming him. Peter Boyle's just as fat as he was. I'm gonna go ahead and call it like it is.
That's true.
Peter Boyle was just as fat as he was, and he's fat shaming.
Yeah.
All right. Do I agree with fat shaming? Yes. But I don't agree with
Peter Boyle fat shaming him
because he has no room to talk.
Yeah.
That's what I have to say about that. Anyway. Now, here's a weird thing about the okay, so we basically got to so he's morphing into Santa.
Yeah.
Right? Sorry, we got sidetracked. Morphing into Santa, becomes Santa, loses visitation rights, kidnaps his son.
Well, only after Charlie finally convinces him that what they did experience was real.
Yeah.
Because this whole time, Scott doesn't understand what's happening. Well, not necessarily I don't think he understands. I think he does understand. I think he refuses to believe that's why this is happening. And then finally, Charlie's able to convince him, like, hey, no, you are Santa.
And then Barabbas shows up.
Barnaby shows up and
whisks them away.
Yeah. And I love how, Charlie's like, can I come too? It's okay with me.
It's like, no one asked you, Barabbas.
Listen, we keep saying his name wrong, and I'm not going to remember his name. Bernard. It's like, Bernard, my man just lost visitation rights. If he kidnaps his son, he's going to jail.
Which he does. An extremely real thing that Mom used to have to deal with that shit all the time. Mm-hmm. Not all the time, but I mean, you hear about stuff and, about, parents that don't have visitation going to pick up their kid.
And they kidnap their kid.
Yeah, that shit happens. And so, that's also very real and very dark.
This section of the movie is, there's parts that are very lighthearted, like Scott dyeing his hair and shaving, and it immediately grows back. And
that's another favorite quote of mine.
The kids lining up at the park telling him what they want for Christmas, which is kind of weird.
Weird
that he actually leans into it.
Weird, but I texted my mom today, I'd like some ballet slippers, please. I did text my mom that today.
What? I want some ballet slippers. But then the visitation rights and the fact that he does technically kidnap his own son.
He absolutely kidnaps his son.
And then the movie kind of goes back into the lightheartedness just a little bit,
yeah.
Towards the tail end. Because now Scott has fully embraced, I am Santa. Let's get ready for Christmas.
Yeah. Then they get ready for Christmas. Now, question, was he gone for a month?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
Because remember, Bernard eats their turkey.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, this bird is dry. Have you never heard of basting? Which, the fact that Bernard is now also a culinary expert, as well as an expert in legal contracts.
Dude's 3,000 years old, man. Give him a break.
Yeah.
He's learned a thing or two about turkey basting.
He's head elf until the third movie. And then he, I guess, is killed by Curtis. Because then Curtis becomes head elf. Curtis for sure killed.
Well, see, they have the similar thing. If you kill Santa, you be Santa. If you kill head elf,
you become head elf.
Yeah.
But But anyway, and I just love the whole time when they're like, yeah, Santa, like, we're tricking out your sleigh, dog. And all he's concerned is not falling off the roof.
Yeah, it's like, but yeah, that's all great. But what if I fall off?
What if I fall off?
That's how the last guy died.
Like, and I'm the one who killed him. What do I do?
Yeah, like, listen, man.
Like, oh, Santa, we got you this flame retardant suit that you can wear under your suit. Yeah. Cool. What if I fall off the roof?
By the way, head and hands, still burnt to a crisp.
Oh, yeah. Well, and if you catch the scene right at the moment, it's already melted.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Not the first time they've
been tortured.
Tested it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's so funny I love that no one answers him.
Yeah.
They're just like,
but Comet's got his back.
Yeah. Comet's the real one.
Yeah, because he got that rope for him.
Yeah.
Okay, and so I'll try to yada yada through the rest of this so we can get to the analysis or the breakdown.
Yeah.
So he
visits Laura and Neil's house and gets arrested because they set up a sting operation.
Yeah, I mean smart.
Yeah. He gets arrested and
those fucking elf SWAT team shows up.
I saw it because I was going to remember what the anagram meant. Not anagram. I think I was right. Anagram.
No, you were not.
What is it called?
It's God damn it! You bitch. Because it's not acrostic. Because actually, it kind of could be, but it's not an abbreviation. You bitch. I knew it, and then you said anagram.
Future Rain, put that up on the screen.
I'm so mad at you. Okay.
What it's called, and then what ELFS actually stands for, or ELFS. ELFS, yeah.
ELFS, yeah.
Anyway, yeah, so those fucking elves show up, rescue Santa with the tinsel.
Yeah.
And I love the drunk guy's like, hey, could you get some of that tinsel? And then finally, after an hour and a half of trying to convince his mom and Neil that Scott is Santa, they finally realize, oh shit, he is.
Just by looking at him. One of my problems with the movie. He didn't even do a magic trick. He's just like,
I think Laura got it first because I think Laura, she was already having cold feet about taking away Scott's visitation rights. And I think just something about the interaction between I wouldn't say the final interaction.
Well, yeah. He says something sweet to Charlie and then, says that he should stay with his mom and stuff. So I guess maybe she realized, okay, it's not a ploy.
He really is Santa.
To steal him. But then it's like, what about what he just said even
remotely
means he's Santa? It just means he's not trying to steal your son away from you. That's all that means.
Yeah. And then I will agree with that because then Neil sort of gets it. Just by looking
at him. And then he's just like freaking out.
He's pulling it. And I love that Bernard shows up and he's eating his pita that he was making.
Yeah.
It was just all microgreens though, dude.
Yeah, it was.
I saw no meat.
It's all alfalfa sprouts.
Yeah. And I love that he's so infatuated with Neil's sweater and he's like, did we make this?
What is that?
And I love that he's pulling us into his delusions. He takes his pita back.
Yeah.
And then Bernard disappears.
Vanishes. Vanishes into confetti.
And then and truthfully, that's pretty much the end.
Honestly, the movie's over by that point.
Yeah, Scott goes off.
Oh, gives them their gifts that they didn't get when they were kids.
To further prove, like, hey, I am Santa.
Hey, I am Santa because I knew about your weenie whistle.
Yeah, your Oscar Mayer weenie whistle that made you lose your faith in me at 3 years old. You bitch. You fucking psychiatrist bitch.
Yeah.
And then technically the movie's over.
The movie's over. Okay, so, let's...
Are you trying to find the right...
Yeah, let's talk about... do you watch this movie every year, by the way?
So it's a tradition with my dad that we watch it on Christmas Day. And if we have the time, because usually we're exhausted because we always do Christmas breakfast. After we're doing breakfast and presents, we're usually exhausted. So Typically, we can only make it through the first movie, but if we have the time, we try to plow through all three. Wow. It's just a tradition.
Wow.
But yeah, so yeah, it's we watch it at least every once. Yeah.
Okay. So let's dive into Tim Allen. Tim Allen,
my man, he was riding high.
He was, because he was doing Home Improvement. Is this before Home Improvement?
No. Yeah, because one of the bits of trivia I read is that he had the number one movie at the box office, which was this. Number one TV show, Home Improvement, and apparently had a book out.
Yeah.
All at the same time in 1 month. Tim Allen, he was on everyone's mind.
Yeah. This is the first time and not the last time that Disney
hired an ex-con.
It was their first time hiring an ex-con.
Yes.
They said they would never do that.
They still stick pretty hard to it. What was the other one?
I don't know. I would just assume that there had been other ones.
I don't think there have been, man. They stick really hard to
no ex-cons.
To no ex-cons, and I don't know who started that.
Seems like a Walt Disney thing to me.
It could have been a Michael Eisner decision. Fuck Michael Eisner. He almost ran Disney into the ground, my guy.
I guess, yeah.
But yeah, our boy Tim Allen had some cocaine charges and some DUIs. Yeah, and Disney has a very strict no cons policy, but oopsie daisies.
He's so popular. He's so hot right now.
That Hansel, he's so hot right now.
that they had to have him.
And this was his first time leading a movie. Yeah. He hadn't had an opportunity to be a leading man yet.
Yeah.
Outside of TV shows.
He was a stand-up comedian.
That's true.
Before he got that's how he got the TV show. And his stand-up's fine. You know what I mean? It's basic macho man stuff.
Tim, I've never seen his stand-up. I think he works. You know, there's certain stand-up comics who are great as stand-up comics. Mm-hmm. Some are great as actors. I think Tim he's the actor's comedian.
Really?
I think when he's acting, he's very funny. Mm-hmm. Like, even though Last Man Standing is essentially just a soft reboot of Home Improvement.
I hate that show.
You hate Last Man Standing?
I hate that show.
I just didn't like...
My dad loves that show.
It's funny. It's funny. I just didn't like all the casting changes. That's what...
There's a lot of casting changes.
But I think Tim, when he's acting, he's hysterical. Like, even though this movie isn't very good, Zoom, I still laugh my ass off because Tim is just so good at it. He's so good.
Yeah.
Even though that movie's not good.
Haven't seen it.
It's got Spencer Brindlin in it, so I wonder... Like, if they're like, hey, man, remember when we did 2 movies together besides this?
But no, I don't remember that.
Wait, Tim, were you in a movie together?
I was high when I did that.
But anyway, yeah.
Cocaine you brought to the Americas.
So I love every scene Tim is in this movie. So my point being, in my opinion, he's a stand-up comedian who's better as an actor.
Okay.
Because I think that's where his comedy really shines.
Yeah.
And, he's so funny in this movie.
Yeah, no, I agree. He's hilarious.
All his improv.
Mom and I, every once in a while, will just go, and you would not believe the traffic.
So,
yeah,
when I was a kid, I didn't get that. I was like, but there's no other cars on the road. And it wasn't until I got older, I was like... He's lying because he's running late because he's a workaholic and he made a promise he'd be there at this time.
Not unlike Jingle All the Way.
Yes.
Which is like the same fucking thing.
But with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Sidebar, speaking of Jingle All the Way, I made this observation the other day. Mm-hmm. In all the very early 90s movies that Arnold did, his characters are always given very American names. Like Jingle All the Way, his character's name is Harold.
Yeah, Harold.
When you look at Arnold Schwarzenegger, do you see Harold? No. You see a dude who's going to kick your teeth in.
It's also hilarious that no one ever mentions the accent.
Oh, yeah. That He never tries to put on an accent, mainly because his Austrian accent is so thick anyway. I don't think he could.
No, there's no way you could.
But yeah, I always love that. No,
But in Jingle All the Way,
he's a workaholic.
well, no. I was going to say that Phil Hartman,
R.I.P.
mentions how ripped he is.
Oh yeah, for a mattress salesman.
Yeah, because he does bring up that, you know, it's like put down the dumbbells or whatever and like pay attention to your kids or something. I don't remember what he said, but he does bring it up. Like, let's acknowledge that he's gigantic and ripped. Anyway, so back to this Christmas movie.
Let us know if you want us to do Jingle All the Way next year.
Oh my God.
But yeah, so, and you know, and that's, as we learned from our gingerbread competition from Emily, our special guest Alba, hates the fact that he became Santa and he's a liar. But it's like, but that's what he...
That's an amazing point. Okay, so...
But that's what he needed. He had to become Santa to become the best version of himself.
I was thinking, like, because I thought about that. You know, Alba's got a very good point, because as he's transitioning into Santa, you know, obviously, like, his attitudes are changing and his personality is basically changing. The strangest one, I think, is at that lunch meeting at the pitch for Total Tank.
Yeah.
He just loses it on this guy.
This poor marketing guy.
Yeah,
who's just trying to give a pitch about a potential commercial.
Like, you guys hired me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, you know...
Yeah, losing it on him about the elves look funny. Well, they're supposed to be funny. They're elves.
Yeah.
Santa...
That's racist.
Yeah, that is racist. That's elfist. Santa and the sleigh are a combo deal. Why would Santa ever drive the turbo tank?
Yeah.
He's going to drive it if he wants to sell it.
Yeah.
And that the turbo tank is garbage.
Now, that is fine. That part I was like, yeah, you need to bring that up. I mean, it's probably too late now, but you should have probably brought that up earlier.
Yeah.
That the total tank is garbage. But I get it. Listen, I understand that he is morphing into Santa.
So he's becoming less corporate.
Yes. But I felt like this was too much too soon. I feel like, you know, if he could have, like, maybe spouted off a little bit and then reeled it back in real quick. You know what I mean?
I know, I see what you're saying.
Instead of
like,
just losing his fucking mind on this guy.
I see what you're saying. Where he would have been like, well, hey, you know, shouldn't Santa still Shouldn't Santa still have his sleigh?
And they're like, no, that's stupid. And he'd be like, okay, I'm sorry.
Right.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, I see what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying?
Now, if he had gone full, like, if they had waited until, like, he was full blown white and had the beard,
That's different.
then, yeah, you know what? I agree, because then that would have made way more sense. That they're like,
I feel like they went 0 to 60 there.
I think maybe they. How many times could I have said that? Ow! I keep craning my neck too bad.
Stop it.
I think they were trying to prove, like, hey, he not only is physically changing, but he's changing
right.
internally.
Again, I understand.
We're not gonna do another mother counter of. I get it.
What about when he verbally assaults Veronica on the street?
Veronica, very nice.
Yeah, I mean, she gives it right back. Good for her. But I'm saying that's not very Santa-like. Maybe.
I think
he's almost full-blown Santa at that point.
Yeah, and I should also mention that they say Scott's age in the movie. My man
is 38.
Okay, and Tim Allen had to have been at least 40 by this point. Well, no, that doesn't seem right.
You think Tim Allen was 38?
I don't think so, man. You know, Future Rain, correct us if we're wrong, how old Tim Allen was by this point.
By 94, yeah.
94. But yeah, you know, and I think I'll
figure it out. You talk.
Oh, okay, Future Rain, don't worry about that. Well, so here's my point to that. I think that was the last little bit of Scott Calvin.
You think so?
You know, because, you know, he was with the kids, obviously, he's not going to be creepy. Mm-hmm. You know, like, oh, Annie, nice. Oh, Johnny, naughty. Scott, or Billy, nice. But then seeing Veronica in that very short skirt.
It's too cold for them.
Yeah. He's already in like some pretty heavy clothing, and she's got a short skirt, and they're in Illinois.
He was 41.
Okay. So they made him 3 years younger.
Yeah.
But I think maybe that was the last little bit of Scott before he really becomes Santa.
Santa. Okay, I mean, that's fine.
Which, now that I say that, contradicts the sequel, Santa Claus 2, because...
Lost in New York. A Tale of Two Kitties.
Like, the Santa Claus 2 undermines a lot of the character development that they made in this one. Mm-hmm. And also brings in this new rule of the secret of Santa. Like, no one can know that Santa is actually real, even though virtually the entire state of Illinois fucking saw him in this one.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're not talking about 2 or 3. 3's an atrocity, and 2 is just okay at best.
2's bad. So
no, 3 is the worst.
No, I know 3's the worst, but that doesn't mean 2 is good.
2 has its moments that are very funny, like when he de-Santifies and he's just Tim Allen again.
Just fat Tim Allen.
No, like they take away everything.
Oh, dude,
like he doesn't. Even,
I thought he was fat Tim Allen.
No, he eventually just becomes just regular Tim Allen.
Now I will give the makeup department, the special effects makeup department, props, because he's almost unrecognizable as Santa.
Oh yeah, especially when the first time when he shaves the beard off.
Yeah.
They had to put prosthetics on his cheeks to make it look like he'd gained weight in his face, and it's very seamless.
And fat Tim Allen. Okay, so fat Tim Allen with the white hair and no beard, I didn't like.
Yeah,
I didn't like it at all. It made me uncomfortable.
It reminds...
He looked like fucking... You know what he looked like? Fucking what? John Adams. You know what I mean? Like one of our founding fathers, John Adams. He
by Paul Giamatti? Played by Paul Giamatti?
No. Like a cartoon drawing of John Adams.
You mean like Jason Momoa right there without a beard?
Yeah, it's not good.
I'm pointing at my Dune poster that I have over there.
But like, here's what I'm saying. It was gross and I didn't like it. Okay?
Well, but he also had to figure out if Armand Assante is getting a present or call.
I do every once in a while. Will think to myself randomly, Armand Assante?
Shout out to Armand Assante.
Yeah, dude. Like,
the only movie I've ever seen him in was the made-for-TV movie The Odyssey.
Yeah.
And I saw that on VHS.
Nice.
That movie is like 3 hours long.
Yikes.
And it is a no-holds-barred adaptation of The Odyssey.
Yikes.
It is so long. And so violent and so cheesy.
Cool. Maybe I will see it.
If you can find it.
Damn. I'll just type in Armand Assante and I'll see what happens.
But anyway.
By the way, good for him getting on page 1.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. I meant to pause to see some of the other names, but I was like,
I would assume they would be like family members of
like crew
and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to talk about the relationship between Scott, Laura, and Neil.
Okay.
Because I think my theory is correct. I think Laura and Scott have only been divorced for maybe about a year.
Yeah.
Year or two. Because Laura's been married to Neil. We don't know how long, and truthfully, I don't need to know how long.
I don't care.
But Scott still holds a lot of animosity towards Neil.
Yeah.
Doesn't like Neil. Makes fun of Neil being a psychiatrist. Which, yeah, truthfully...
Acronym.
As
acronym.
Future if you've made it this far, sorry, buddy, you're going to have to delete that.
Yeah.
Anyways, makes fun of Neil's profession, which, yes, psychiatrists are, quacks sometimes. But my man had to get a medical degree. Mm-hmm. He had to get that PhD, so Scott, shut up. But, it's a very strange relationship, especially for adults. And I say that, and as you know, as a child of divorce, because I have witnessed these relationships firsthand. But it is such a weird, very childish relationship. You know, Scott doesn't like Neil. Neil tries to like Scott, which props to Neil.
Props to Neil.
He's trying.
He is trying.
And Laura also is trying to kind of keep the peace, you know, even though she has and I will let you say it, the haircut.
She's got a stupid, dumb bitch haircut. And she's a bitch. You know what I mean? I'll say it.
Until the second one, and then we like Laura.
Yeah, Laura's fine in the second one, I suppose, but she's a bitch in this one. I don't like her.
Yeah, especially with her whole, you know.
I mean, she can't even acknowledge that these quips he's getting off are really good about Neil.
Like, why isn't Neil going to come in? He's afraid you're going to say something snotty. No, not exactly. It could be sarcastic or otherwise. Yeah, these quips that these jabs at Neil.
Yeah, well, Neil's head comes to a point. You should see him walk on water.
My favorite one is, you know, Neil actually listens to me. Yeah. And then he charges you for it.
Yeah,
that's my favorite.
Really good one.
That's my favorite. Yeah.
We should title this episode "Plain Milk's Fine."
Plain Milk's Fine.
Which is now one.
Which is a great segue into the quotes.
Quotes.
Yes, as we talked about in our Office Space episode, just like this one, this movie is very quotable.
Yeah.
And as soon as you start laying into the quotes, people know what you're talking about.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, yeah, I would assume so. I would hope so.
Yeah, I would also hope so. But, like, plain milk's fine.
Plain milk's fine. I say that all the time. Anytime I don't get my way.
Could you imagine when we went to Weatherford, I went to Waffle House, and you asked for chocolate milk, and she was like, we just have regular milk. What would you have done if you quoted it perfectly, and the waitress was like, okay.
Plain milk's fine.
She'd been like, okay, plain milk.
Okay. Plain milk.
This guy's okay.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Wouldn't have been able to ask for chocolate milk because then I would have peed on my butt because I am lactose intolerant.
Lactose intolerant. But yeah, so
that's Jeremy. I know. Sorry.
So that is Jeremy's quoting when they go to Denny's, and they're the majority of the restaurant is taken over by the I don't want to be offensive, but I can't remember the party's name.
They're either Japanese or Chinese. This company
this company is, because as it is set up by Tim Allen, it's an American institution. Everyone loves Denny's, and then we immediately see this this Japanese kind of company Denny's retreat,
which makes perfect sense because they probably don't celebrate Christmas.
Yeah, and so because the entire Denny's is full, they're out of everything. They're out of eggnog.
So funny.
They're out of chocolate milk.
Hot apple pie.
And all Charlie wants is some chocolate milk because he doesn't like eggnog, which that's a red flag right there because eggnog is the best. And he just gives this just defeated, like, I'll let you do it.
Plain milk's fine.
Because, like...
He's so sad.
This is the only time I'll defend Charlie. My man wants some chocolate milk.
He did, and he didn't get it. You know what I mean? But he got Santa for a dad eventually.
Yeah.
So sort of, whatever. So, quotable lines. I hope the guy who lives here is a tailor.
Yeah,
that makes me laugh.
Good play on words of home improvement. But also...
He does put on the plastic tool belt.
Yeah, and it was like...
Nah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of one of my other favorite lines in it.
I do like when Charlie says, when he interrupts him, he goes, lash out irrationally.
Where did you hear that?
Yeah, because it's a super psychiatry thing to say.
Yeah. I did my favorite, the here's my card, call me. I really like that
Ballet
one.
slippers, that one's one of my favorites.
Yeah. Or Scott's doctor going like, if you don't like the hair, you should dye it. And you should dye it. Poking his belly. The doctor was also fat shaming Scott.
I know, it was so funny. Oh shit!
And his doctor's also not very bright, in my opinion, because his synopsis for weight gain. Like, what have you been eating? Milk and cookies. I don't finish the milk. Well, there's your problem. How is that a problem if he's not finishing the milk?
No, see, now that's what I thought for a long time, but he said you got to lay off the sweets.
Well, yeah, I know, but it still doesn't.
But I know that's how the
doesn't add up.
The sentence structures line up.
Yeah.
Well, there's your problem.
You gotta lay off the sweets.
Gotta finish your milk.
Yeah, but he's Santa now.
Imagine living off milk and cookies. I think you'd die.
Well, and you share something with Scott before he becomes Santa. Scott is also lactose intolerant.
Or at least he says he's lactose intolerant to that as he's verbally abusing
this little girl. Because Santa is watching his saturated fats. That interaction I love too, especially when he comes back and he is Santa, and he drinks the milk and he's like, the milk's a little sour.
Now yeah, that one's pretty funny.
You said you were lactose intolerant. I did say that.
And you remember?
Yeah,
because
Sarah
you never
is the
remember the time you get verbally abused.
Verbally abused by a man named Scott Calvin.
Yeah, who just in your house. And I like that he just throws the doll in the tree. Like he's sort of.
Do you want this or not? Go to sleep. And you hear an ornament break.
Throws it in the tree.
And I love the canoe when he pulls the canoe out and he's like, and he turns around and it just knocks the tree over, and like, I love that he digs into the bag. Good practical effect.
That is good.
He digs into the bag, pulls out the oar, and just like throws it.
Making so much noise.
I know. And how is it that he didn't wake up this family, but the first house he goes to, the dog barks and wakes up the owner?
Yeah, and you hear a shotgun.
A shotgun cock, and like, there's been gunshots going off. Yeah. This is Jeremy.
Yeah.
Are you ready to wrap up?
Yeah, I'm pretty. Yeah, I'm
I think
good.
we have exhausted.
You think so? Yeah,
Claus.
I guess we could have gone into more of the, if we could even go more in depth into the ideas of child endangerment, mental illness. Now, the fact that they thought he was losing his mind, it did nothing about it. That's crazy.
Yeah, the most, all they thought of to help him was take away his visitation rights.
Yeah, they didn't even think hey man, this guy needs serious help. Neil tried, but he didn't try that hard.
Neil.
Listen, again, I'm on their side. I don't think he's Santa either, but I would be like, yo, actually, I take it back. I'd probably be like, this is hilarious. He thinks he's Santa, Let's see how far he goes. I want to see what he does. He's already gaining 300 pounds.
Yeah. I've gained 45 pounds in a week. Damn.
That's so much weight.
I know, dude. That's he's gaining 5 pounds a day. 45? No, that would be 35. He's gaining almost
3.5, 3.7 pounds a day. I don't know math. I can't do math.
I was about to say, no.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
No, it's at least he's almost gaining 7 pounds a day.
Nah, it's like 3 points.
Jesus Christ.
I know math. It's not a big deal.
God. But anyway, so are you ready to wrap up?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know you didn't really want to do a Christmas episode.
No, but this was fun because I enjoyed watching this movie again for the 107th time.
Because it's a good. I feel like it has cemented itself as a Christmas classic.
Yeah.
You could take or leave the sequels, leave them.
Yeah. I would.
I mean, maybe watch the second one because that's when we get introduced to Mrs. Claus, or the Mrs. Claus, which.
You would have thought that
that would have been the first thing they told him.
Well, and you would have thought in this movie they would have leaned a little bit more on the Claus part.
Yeah.
But that's fine. Oh, and by the way. In the second one, it's the same card, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's meant to be the same card. It's designed slightly differently, but yeah, this Claus is in the whoop-de-doos underneath the Santa Claus name.
Yeah. In the whoop-de-doos?
In the whoop-de-doos.
Cool, right on.
Yeah. And they have to use this giant magnifying glass.
Yeah.
But anyway,
that's silly.
Well, I'm glad you didn't hate this as much as I thought you were gonna.
No, I didn't hate it. I enjoyed watching it again. I enjoyed thinking about it in a different way that I had before. You know, for this show, I got to think about movies in a different way. And so I've never thought about it in this way. So that was cool. To get to revisit it through a different lens was pretty neat. So yeah, it was cool.
Yeah. All right, buddy. So what are we talking about technically?
Next time.
The next time, yeah.
Next time. So it won't be next week. I'll be out of town a lot for the holiday.
Yeah, and so we want everyone to, and you know, also enjoy their Christmas and time with their family. So there won't be an episode next week, unfortunately, but there will be one the week after that.
Yeah. So
what are we talking about that week?
It will be my last pick before the series, because you have one more after that, and then the series.
And then it's a series. Yep.
So for my last pick, I've been teasing it all season. We're going to be talking about Charlie Kaufman's Synecdoche, New York.
Nice.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty cool.
I'm really excited. Yeah, I've been pretty excited to talk about it because, you know, we said we were going to do a Kaufman episode every season.
Yeah.
Last season it was we actually did 2. We did Anomalisa and
was that the same season?
I think it was the same season. No, my bad. Anomalisa was season 4. 5 was I'm Thinking of Ending Things.
Yeah.
And this season, did we do one this season? I don't think we did, no. So this season is Synecdoche, New York.
Synecdoche, New York. Get ready, guys. It's wild.
Yeah, man. I don't know anything about the movie.
Right on.
All I know is that a boy, R.I.P., Philip Seymour Hoffman is
Yep.
it. Yeah, man, I'm excited, bro.
Yeah, man. I love Synecdoche, New York. And so I hope you guys do too. It's really, really good.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Well, we hope you have, because by the time this episode comes out, Christmas hasn't happened yet.
No.
So we hope you have a great Christmas, great holidays, times with your families. We hope you enjoyed the Santa Claus, and we will see you
Next time
for Synecdoche, New York.